Hi and welcome to Studio SN. My name is Sara Naumann and today I want to show you an easy technique using Smooch inks. My background is colored with Smooch inks using an acrylic block as my stamp. And I love this technique because it is super easy to do and it gives you a completely different look every time. So where you see this really pretty blue and brown sort of mottled effect under here, well, this is the Smooch inks. And if you've never worked with Smooch inks before, this is what they look like. That bottle is kind of like a bottle of nail polish. And the applicator is something similar, except it's a really pointy tip. So rather than a brush, it's a fine tip, and I think you can see just how fine that tip is. So you can use it for detail work as well, of course, as backgrounds. So let me show you how easy this is to do. I'll move aside my card and bring in my acrylic block. This is just a plain stamping acrylic block. Can be any size, whatever you happen to have. And I'm working with a piece of glossy white cardstock. So you can work on matte cardstock as well. You'll just get a slightly different effect, but still also very fun. The two colors of Smooch I'm working with are Mocha and Cape Cod. So really pretty blue and brown. Now the first thing I'm going to do is sort of scribble on a little bit of the Smooch ink. And I'm just working at an angle with that applicator because of course if I go straight down, I'm just going to get little dots of color. And I want to sort of color this in. So I'm working at an angle, that was the Mocha, just scribbling it onto various parts of my acrylic block. And then I'll come back with Cape Cod and kind of fill in those areas. Now it's important to use a clean block. You don't want to have any stray ink marks on there. Mine is a little bit stained on the other side from use. Stained, as are my hands. I apologize for that, but it has been a busy day here in the studio. Now that I have my ink on here, I'm going to come in with a little bit of a mister bottle and give just a quick light spritz or two. And then I'm just simply going to turn this over and stamp. Now when I stamp this, I'm pressing. So I think you can see that ink kind of squashing out there. I'll lift and then turn it over and use a different area to get a different design. Lift and twist and create more patterns. Now I can go the same way all the way around. I've got some lines in here, so I'm just going to come back and re-stamp. And you can add as much color or as little as you want. So I could even come back and add more ink onto my block, add more water, whatever I'd like to do, depending on the effect that I'm going for. But I think you can see that was pretty quick and pretty easy to do. It makes a beautiful background ready to stamp. So let me bring back in my card and I'll show you exactly what I did to put it together. Now I did stamp on top of that inked background and it only takes a couple of minutes to dry. It dries really quickly. And the stamp set that I'm using is one that I designed for Paper Artsy. This is the Eclectica line. This is ESN04. You can see all kinds of really fun words and sentiments on here. And I just use them to create a kind of a collage background. So I have lines going vertically and horizontally. I have some of the stamps going off the side, like this postmark up here as well. I didn't stamp in this area here because I knew I wanted to put my butterfly. And the butterfly is the two butterflies and two shadows dies from hot off the press. And I've cut it from another product from Paper Artsy called Crunchy Waxed Kraft Paper. And this stuff is a lot of fun and works beautifully for die cutting. And this is the area that I punched those or cut those butterflies out of. But it's a really nice tactile sort of material and it just works so perfectly for die cutting. So I've got this little butterfly glued on here. I Do Wish is also from the same stamp set. And I have some gold jewel border dazzles also from hot off the press, top and bottom on here. And then also holding on my little sentiment here. This is a gold jewel dazzle. And they come as a whole sheet. Let me show it to you. A whole sheet of these metallic sticker dots. These are fantastic. I use them all the time just for little things like this. They really come in handy for a lot of different techniques. So this is how to use Smooch inks to create a beautiful background. I really hope you enjoyed the video today. Thank you so much for joining me on Studio SN. For more ideas and inspiration, please do stop by my website at saranaumann.com. Thanks a lot, and I will see you next time.